Hello class, and welcome to session 2 of Intro to Computers at Colorado Christian University. This is Janet Randerson. It's pretty late at night when I'm making the recording, so I'm sorry if I look a little tired, but I didn't want to take another day to get this information out to you on how to go through your week 2. Even though we did a brief overview of it last week, I wanted to have a detailed overview of it this week. So let's take a look at what you're going to be working on this week in week 2. Okay, so what we've got, let me shrink this down just a little bit so we can get a better look at this content. Sorry for the background back there. Okay, so this is what we've got. Week 2, we're going to be working on creating your template. So in your template document, you're going to have, of course, all your reading and viewing assignments as always, and our biblical perspective, which we need to make sure that we spend time as well looking at how much where we put our trust. This particular week we're talking about trusting technology, and let us not let technology replace our trust in the Lord. We always know that He's our first and top priority, and that we know we can trust Him always. Technology will fail us, but the Lord will never fail us. So let's take a look in here, as we know that God is the author of everything, including the technology pieces in our world. I'm going to shrink this little menu down here. There we go. So you have your discussion board. We're going to talk about technology and faith. And then you have an APA formatted template that you're going to create. And this will be important. There's an information sheet here for you to take a look at. So I want to go into this and show you a few tips and tricks. So take some notes if you want to, or just follow along with this video as you're trying to get your template created. This document right here is a Word document, and you're going to be working in Word to be able to create your template. And there are a few tips and tricks. First of all, I wanted you to know that if you are not already, please do access the OWL at Purdue, their online writing lab at Purdue. The University of Purdue has a fantastic writing lab. And the way to get to there, let me see if I can type into there for you so you can get the URL. I'm just typing in OWL at Purdue or OWL Purdue in a Google search, and it comes up with these APA formatting style guides right here. So you can just go to the OWL at Purdue, and then you'll notice that the OWL at Purdue is that all of this is searchable. So for example, let's just say I want you to use headings, and I do want you to use headings. We'll type in headings here, and so then APA headings and serration will come up. And it takes you right to, that's interesting. I thought that I was typing headings into this area. Let's try it again. Nope, it's going to take me out to the same area again. Okay, so what we want you to be able to do here is to find headings inside here. So the APA headings and serration is what we're looking for. So yeah, it takes you, actually it does take you right to it. So here it is, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and this is the format for it. So in a level 1, you're going to have a centered, boldface, uppercase, and lowercase heading. It looks just like this, but it'll be centered and bolded. So I would like you to use at least a level 1 heading in your writing for this course. You might have as much as a level 2 heading, where you're going to have a level 1 that breaks your paper down into your major categories, and then your subcategories underneath that would be your level 2 headings, and these would all be left aligned, bold-faced, upper and lowercase. So left aligned, same as here though. Instead of being centered, it's going to be left aligned. I don't think you'll probably get to a level 3, 4, or 5. I've never even used a 5 yet in any of my writing through the master's and doctorate level yet. I haven't used a level 5 writing yet. So and here's your serration, so it'll show you if you're going to use numeration or serration in your writing. That's how you do that. So be sure to use this source. The OWL at Purdue is loaded with sources for you guys. I know you have your written handbooks, but this electronic source is searchable. You can get to stuff very quickly through it. So I would recommend you use the OWL at Purdue and your Google search. Okay, so let's go to your format here. Here's your cheat sheet, or the created document that they gave you, and I want to show you a couple of things on here, so take some notes on this. We're going to focus on this area right here. This is your paragraph menu box at the top. So if your ribbons don't show this paragraph menu box here, make sure that you reveal that heading or that paragraph box. You should be able to see it. So notice when I hover over this little box in the corner right here that you get a whole different menu, right? It's going to show us how we can get that. So if we just hover over it and click on it, it brings up this menu here. We're going to be using this menu. I'm going to take it off to the side for just a minute, but we're going to definitely be using it. Oops, makes me cancel. So I have to reopen it. But I want to show you a couple of things. So you're going to be changing your font size, which you know you can do up here. You're going to be changing your margins, which you'll do in your page layout page. Here, margins. You'll be changing your spacing, and you'll be changing your headers and your page numbers, and you'll be using indenting and hanging indents. And you'll be using a reference page, the main body of the paper, and you're also going to be using an abstract page. So I've never used an abstract page until I got to my graduate level work. It's a good idea to know how to do it though, so let's take a look at that. And in Microsoft Word 2013, you'll be able to see how to get this done. If you're using another version of the software, some have written me to say they have Microsoft Office 365 and they want to use that. You're going to end up with a different menu than what we've all got. So if you can figure out how to navigate that and you can show me how you can set up your templates, you can go for it and give it a try and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm flexible as long as it works. Okay, so everything in your APA formatted page is supposed to be double spaced. You'll notice on this page that everything is double spaced, except when you get to here. There's a little extra space in here, but it shows that everything's double spaced, right? It doesn't say it's not double spaced when you click on it. And you go to paragraph. So there's another way to get to your paragraph menu is to go to click and go to paragraph, or you can go here. It's looking like it's all double spaced, but there's a little extra space in here, and I'll show you how to get rid of that. So you may find that this happens in your papers as well, and there's a little trick that I'll teach you. So let's go to your spacing piece. So click on this little box, and then we're going to go here to your spacing. Wait, hold on a second, cancel. We're going to highlight all this first, sorry. So I want to make sure that all of this is double spaced with no extra spaces in it. So let's try again. Click on the box, highlight the text, click on the box. And then you're going to go here and you're going to say your line spacing is going to be double spaced. Here's the key. Don't add any extra space between the paragraphs of the same style. So make sure you click this little box right here. Okay? And just say, see what it's done is it's added an 8-point line after the paragraph. We don't want that. So we're going to say don't add any space. So now it's double spaced everything, and no extra space is allowed between paragraphs of the same size. But there's an extra carriage return in here, or extra enter, line break. And if we turn on this little paragraph annotation thing here, we can see there's an extra line break right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. Okay. And we're going to take the template out. Okay, so that's what we got. So now all of our line spacing is double spaced. So let's go back and see how we did that again. I'm going to undo all that I just did, put it back to how it was. So see how there's an extra space in there? Highlight all your text. You can right click and go to paragraph. Click double space. Don't enter any spaces, any extra spaces after that line, and then delete the extra line break in there. And then what I did is I just did this back arrow to get everything aligned again. Oh my, it's going through some theatrics here. I gotta turn a few things off. There we go. Okay, so now everything is double spaced and there's no extra spacing between anything. So that's how you're going to manage that. I've seen it over and over again. I've been teaching classes for CCU for a number of years, about 6 years now, and that's a typical problem throughout written papers. So you'll be able to impress your instructors if you know how to turn that off in there. So be sure to take a look at that. So now let's talk a little bit about headings. So you notice that this page has a heading on it, and that heading is the same as on page 2. It's exactly the same. When you do your papers in APA formatting, your first page is going to have the words running head on it, and then the title, and then a page number. Your second page is not going to say running head, it's just going to have the title on it. So you're going to have a different heading on the first page as opposed to the second page. So let me show you how to change that. So let's see, you're going to go to let's click into here. Okay, so now I've clicked into, I just clicked on the heading area. So I just navigated, literally, just navigated my cursor up to the heading area, the header area. We talked about headings just a minute ago in APA. That's different than a header. This is the header. So what we want is we want the first page to be different than the second page. So when you click into there, you get this menu and you can click different first page. And then we're going to add the text. Oh my gosh. Running head, colon, all right? And then, so that's, you need this font to match the rest of your font. So I see this as a common problem as well, where students don't take the time to make sure that this font in the heading lines up with this font as well. So you're going to change that to a Times New Roman. I just know that that is Times New Roman on the other end. So we're going to change it to Times New Roman, and we're going to make it a 12, because that's what you're going to set everything at. And sorry about that. And now you're just going to put your title here. And the title is always uppercase. All right. And then you want your page number in. So you're going to tab over to the right hand side and do your page number in the current position. You just want a 1 there. All right. So running head, title goes here. You put your title there. And then click out. Let's go see what our second page looks like. It should be the same as it used to be. Let's go see. Look at that. The heading over here did not change. The heading up here has the correct formatting to it. So make sure when you're creating your template that you have running head, the words running head here, and then all this goes here in all uppercase, and then your page number goes on the far right hand side. And then you'll create your title page with all the lines that go in it, and those are all centered. So take a look at the APA formatting guidelines on how to create your title page. The best way that I would do that would be to tell you to go ahead and get a sample paper from the OWL at Purdue and download that. Okay, so we've gone over how to change the font type and size. So I showed you how to do that. That's just right up in here. Changing the margins, that's going to be in your page layout. Margins are here. Double spacing, we've gone over that. We've gone over headers and page numbers, indenting and hanging indents. So let me show you the hanging indent portion. So when we write an APA, your first paragraph is indented. So we're going to go back to that paragraph page, and we're going to create a paragraph that is indented. First line indent by ½ inch. It's an automatic setting in Word, very easy to set. Again, we're going to do double spacing. So remember what I told you to click on don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. So click on that and then hit OK. So now you have a double spaced, indented paragraph. All right. When you get to your reference page, all of your references are going to need to have a hanging indent, which is just the opposite of this. In this one, the first line is indented, and the rest of it goes to the left margin. When you get to your sources on your reference page, all of your references need to be with a hanging indent. So if this were a reference, I would highlight it. I would go to the paragraph box again, and I would click on this special indent or special formatting, and I would click hanging. And you can see a sample of what it's going to do. Here's a preview of what's going to happen. So you hit OK. So when you create your references, you're going to start here with your APA formatted reference, where it's going to have the author's last name, only his initials, his or her initials, and then the period and the parentheses, the date in it, and the period again, and then the rest of your source. But it's always with a hanging indentation. So you always need that for your reference page. So go ahead and put that in there by doing this. So I can switch this back and forth, right? I can go first line, how it's indented, just like your text should be throughout your paper. Okay, so we've done indenting. The title page, you can get that out of the OWL at Purdue. The abstract page, OWL at Purdue. Main body of the paper, OWL at Purdue. And then your reference page, again, OWL at Purdue, but be sure to use those hanging indentations and follow the formatting for APA on getting your sources cited properly. Okay, so that should get you through that particular paper. This is a little longer video than I like for it to be because I lost you about 6 minutes ago. So thanks for hanging in there. I hope this is helpful for you. Let's see, before we do any of this, let's make sure that everything else is okay. So then you're going to do your ribbons paper. You have to do that in APA formatting, so this is a chance to use your template. And then it's going to be a 1 to 3 page paper in correct APA format that compares and contrasts the ribbon features in each of these 3 software programs. So compare the Word ribbon to the Excel ribbon and the PowerPoint ribbon. So you might set it up as a so here's your headings, right? You're going to have your Word explanation, and then your Excel explanation, and then your PowerPoint explanation. So it could be that you're going through your ribbon selection at the top of each of those, and then you might have subparagraphs underneath that to use your level 2 headings. It's a great opportunity for you to use level 1 and level 2 headings in this particular paper, in your ribbons paper. Okay? All pages of an APA formatted paper must contain running headers. Headings are used to separate sections of the main body of the paper. So when it says it needs running headers, do it the way that the OWL at Purdue sets it up for you. So the first page has the running header, and then you just put the title on each other additional page. All right? No spelling and punctuation errors. You guys know well enough how to access grammar checking and spell checking resources. So use those. And lists and bullets are not appropriate to use. Be sure to check the rubric for grading criterion. So if you don't know how to access the rubric, you're going to get that right from your My Grades area, or where your assignments are. When you hover over those assignments, they pop up for you, and it says a rubric is available for this assignment. Click right on there, and the rubric will open up. I do grade right to the rubric. So if you can write to the rubric, you'll be able to get the criterion well for your assignments. So it should be okay. What I'm looking for here is just for you to show me that you know how to master the technology. It's not so much that it's a writing class, but I would like you to be able to show me that you know how to use clear and concise writing practices, and that you can utilize the tools with the technology. So I use a lot of technology in my job, and this is kind of fun for me to teach this class, so I'm glad you guys are here. All right. Talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.